Welcome to the Payday Parlays podcast, episode 3, part 2. I'm Matt, and I'm joined always by Zane. Zane, what's up?
Dude, I'm doing good today. Trying to digest this huge slate of games we have today. College basketball, FCS college football, plenty of soccer around the world, plenty of puck lines too to look at with hockey today. So it's just a massive slate. Glad we're getting going this morning.
Me too. With it being busy, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. College basketball. What plays are you looking at tonight?
I like this probably flying under the radar game. Montana versus Idaho State. Idaho State money line plus 120. I like that line a lot. A lot of money coming in on Idaho State. So what happens is when I'm looking at bets, if you're seeing a very large gap between the number of bets placed and the amount of money being placed on the team, like you're seeing right now with Idaho State, that's usually screaming sharp money. So I jumped on it too. I was just jumping on the bandwagon. I don't really know much about the teams, but I was looking at the numbers of those bets being placed and said, you know what, let's go for it. So Idaho State versus Montana. I'm throwing that in our Super Cup that is ongoing for the next few days. So that's another $10 there. Hope to win, cash out with the 12 payout there. So
I think it looks good. I like your thinking. I'm actually looking at that super boost that FanDuel's doing this weekend. 3-team parlay on the money line for all of them. Duke, Kentucky, and Baylor. So I thought we could talk about each of those games individually.
Okay, so where are we starting?
We can start with Duke taking on Louisville today. Duke's
fun fact for you there, Matt. As you say, Louisville, I learned that at a Marshall-Louisville football game, Louisville fans hate when you say Louisville. So just a little tidbit there for you.
Well, here's a tidbit for living near Norfolk for people in Kentucky. It's not Norfolk. It's Norfolk. So
all right, there we go.
Well, let's talk about the game. Though Duke has been playing a lot better ever since Jalen Johnson left. I think people gave Jim Boeheim a lot of crap for what he said about Duke being a better team without Jalen Johnson, but they've been a better team without Jalen Johnson. No,
kind of hard to go against that logic of thinking. I mean, you're looking at, let's see, when did Jalen Johnson? What was the last game he played in here? Was it Notre Dame? I guess maybe. Yeah. So. Since Jalen Johnson, they've not lost. I mean, since he opted out. So, I mean, you're looking at now a 4-game win streak going into Louisville today, or actually hosting Louisville today, excuse me, for hopefully their 5th win in a row. And they're favorites.
Yeah, and Louisville's been a very inconsistent team. Like, that's what's probably going to hurt them when it comes to seeding for the tournament later on. They've been really up and down, to be honest. And that's why I like Duke in that one. We'll go ahead and move on to the next one, Kentucky and Florida. Now, this is the one that I think is going to be a little closer than people think. Kentucky is favored -2 or -1.5 or 2.
It seems like the line keeps dropping. So I haven't seen the most updated before we started, but last time we checked, it was at -2.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really close game. I still like Kentucky on the money line, but it will be a very good game, so people want to make sure that they check that out.
I'm going to go a limb here and say, Matt, for your Super Boost play, if it does not hit, I would say the reason it doesn't hit is because of this game.
I agree. Florida is also a very inconsistent team, but I think they are probably a better team than Kentucky. But Kentucky at home.
They've been playing better, playing a lot better as of recent, though.
Yeah, I've noticed that with like Duke and Kentucky just being part of the same. And I think with the teams that like to bring in the young one and done freshmen, I think they've struggled this year with the limited practice and stuff. I think it's just been harder with everything going on this year for younger teams to succeed.
Yeah, I'd say the coaching situations, obviously legendary coaches at some of these schools like Duke and Kentucky. because of potentially the limited practicing, the limited contact, it's not giving the opportunity for the coaches to really show their ability as coaches in their development of their team throughout the season. So that'd be my little take there. Just that would be my reasoning as to why you see these teams struggling, not because it's just the 1 year and done, but because of the limited contact too, playing that into the coaching role, just not having that constant contact.
Yeah, and I was also thinking, without like the practice, like for those one and done players, like they pretty much went from playing high schoolers to playing grown men in some of these, like against some of these teams, and so without that practice of playing against people who are as good as you, it's pretty hard to
Right.
step up. And then we'll move to the last game, which I feel the most comfortable with, just because Baylor hasn't lost this year, so I feel pretty comfortable with that. Baylor taking on Kansas. Now, Kansas has been also playing better of late, and this I could be dead wrong. This could have upset. This could be upset watch game, but I like Baylor. They haven't lost this year. They've been solid, and I see them continuing winning games.
Yeah, I mean, you have to go with Baylor. 18-0 on the season so far. Just trying to look back and see, is this the first meeting this season with Kansas for Baylor? Is this a second meeting? So this is the second meeting. Baylor beat them at home and hosted them back in January. 77-69 was the final there. There's no reason to not feel comfortable with Baylor winning this one, to be honest.
Yeah, I am pretty comfortable, but Kansas has been playing a little bit better.
Oh yeah, much improved, but I still feel confident in Baylor there to finish the job, sweep them for the season.
And then, since we're in the heart of ACC country, I think we should talk about FSU at UNC. Big matchup. UNC has they just got blown out by Marquette, and FSU, since coming back from COVID, has been on a tear. They're number one in the ACC, and UNC likes to get up and down the court and beat you with their size as well. Well, that's Florida State has size, so I don't see how UNC pretty much stays in this game. I think this could be a blowout for Florida State.
Yeah, I want to disagree with you for the sake of conversation, but unfortunately, I will back you in that picking again. UNC I think that team is demoralized at this point. Marquette isn't the Marquette of old either this year. That we've known for some of their phenomenal, sometimes Cinderella runs in the tournament. I don't understand why they're playing that game anyway in the middle of February out of conference like that. But yeah, I just don't see Florida State losing this one against UNC. I'm surprised the line isn't larger than what it is actually.
And UNC was not that good of a team last year. So, what are your thoughts on Roy Williams as a coach?
I don't think Tar Heel fans, and I'm not in the Tar Heel community, so to speak, so I don't follow the feed. But I don't know how much longer they'll settle for mediocrity at that program.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think Roy Williams has been that good of a coach. I think he was a good coach. I just think that there have been a lot of good coaches hired in the ACC, and as of recent, they have not been the UNC of old. They're not competing for national titles. They're not even competing for ACC titles right now.
I would say exception to this year, maybe just put an asterisk to this year because of the situation, but just in the recent, maybe let's say 6 to 8 year swing of just the ACC as a whole and how the conference has changed so much in basketball play has gotten much, much stronger. And for some reason, UNC, who used to be so dominant at the top with Duke, you can even throw UVA in the mix as well with their nice run as of the most recent years. Just haven't been able to keep up, it seems like, with the changing shift and balance in the conference.
And they even had Cole Anthony, who is succeeding in the NBA for the Orlando Magic. They have the talent.
Yeah, it's not lack of talent.
What's the common denominator?
I mean, all signs would point to the coach, right, at that point?
Exactly. So that's pretty much the big college matchups that we're looking at. I know Michigan plays Indiana. Do you want to talk about that at all?
I haven't even looked at that game, so I couldn't even tell you. To be honest, I haven't really peeked at that game at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not betting on it per se, but I do think Michigan, continues dominating. I think Michigan might be the best team is the best team in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Do you disagree?
No. I think they are the best team, and I think we see that with the big win over Ohio State. I think it solidified that. I would expect them to potentially be one of the number one seeded teams for the NCAA tournament when we get to that point.
Michigan's actually playing Indiana right now as we speak, so they're up 28-21. But that was it's not really that big of a matchup, but Michigan's highly ranked, and I figured we could talk about it just a little bit. But moving from the hardwood to the pitch, there's some good Premier League games on tomorrow that I think we should talk about, mainly Manchester United versus Chelsea. I think that's the big one that everyone's excited for tomorrow.
I'm excited for the Arsenal and Leicester. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, we'll talk about Arsenal and Leicester too.
Okay. I can care less about Chelsea and Man U. I'll keep my eye on it because of the places they sit at the table. But
well, you better not hope that Chelsea wins, because remember I told you Chelsea was going to finish in the top 4.
That's true.
Just for
yeah. So I guess I'll stick with Man U
for bragging rights.
Yeah, for bragging rights and my own pride of my predictions. I will hope that Man U takes them tomorrow, which I think with the way Chelsea's been playing, they've been playing for results and whatnot. I don't think Man U has conceded that run to the top yet to Man City. So I do look to see Man U probably come out, and it wouldn't surprise me if they end up winning by 2 goals.
Yeah, the way that Chelsea has been playing, they've been playing possession, and they've taken away from their creativity by adding an extra defensive midfielder in the middle. They're playing with 2 6s. I think that Manchester United will try to absorb pressure from Chelsea, and they will counter, and that is what Manchester United does. Manchester United is unbeaten on the road this year in the Premier League. They have not lost a road game yet, and that is because what travels well? A good counterattack. And
I like that stat. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and think about the players they have. Rashford, Martial, the speedsters. They're trying to get the ball out quickly, and then you have Bruno Fernandes, the magician in the middle, just making things happen. My EPL Player of the Year.
Okay.
who would you have as Player of the Year?
I have no idea. At this point.
Bruno Fernandes is going to be Player of the Year.
Okay. Hot take.
We'll see. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's Matt Hart's pick for Player of the Year, Bruno Fernandes. But let's talk about Arsenal and Leicester. How are you feeling about that game?
Actually, I'm feeling more confident as we reflected on the Europa League play of both of these teams earlier this week. Arsenal struggled against Benfica, but did come back in the second leg to advance 4-3 on aggregate against Benfica, and it was kind of a comeback game itself just this past week. They were down. Benfica kind of tied it up 1-1, and they went up 2-1, and then Arsenal came back to go up 3-2. So it was a battle. Leicester, though, had an embarrassing Europa League performance this past week, and was knocked out of the tournament there against.
Do you think Leicester's playing for the Europa, or do you think they're playing to finish top 4 in the Premier League so they can get into Champions League next year, though?
No, I get that too. I understand that, but with the quality side they have, I don't see why they're losing to Prague 2-0 on aggregate.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Not just losing, but being shut out in 2 matches.
I agree. But how weird, can we just say, how weird is it because we've watched soccer for a really long time. If you would have told us, 10 years ago, that that we will be talking about a Leicester City Arsenal match where Leicester is sitting third on the table and Arsenal is sitting 11th. We would have told you that you are absolutely insane.
Oh yeah,
That you,
I don't enjoy the standings as where they are, but we'll see. Hopefully, we get turned around here with this win against Leicester tomorrow.
if you win tomorrow, you know, depending on how Tottenham finishes, you will probably be sitting in the top 10 again, probably
Yeah,
ninth.
I think potentially not.
Yeah, Leicester City and Arsenal tomorrow. That will be a fun match. How do you see that one ending up?
I think with Arsenal's recent form, I think they're coming off a nice morale boost with the comeback against Benfica. I do think Arsenal will edge out Leicester tomorrow. Maybe a goal difference.
I would enjoy that. Gives Manchester United some room sitting there at second. Uh, However, I do think Leicester is playing for Premier League right now. They're pushing to finish top four. They want to be in Champions League,
Yeah,
and so I think they're going to want to try to keep pace with Manchester United, and I think they're going to see an opportunity with Man U playing Chelsea to try to get some points. I
kind of
think they're going to try
secure.
to push. Yeah, I think they're going to try to win. So that could open up for Arsenal to counter. So you could be completely correct, but I I expect the match to be very entertaining. I do think both teams are going to be fighting for points, obviously, and so it
It
should be very entertaining.
it could turn into a track meet with the way
Exactly,
they
and
have run it
Leicester and
over.
Arsenal, quality wise, are pretty on par with each other. I think
Yeah,
not too big of a difference. Leicester's, they don't have the money of the Man Cities and the Manchester Uniteds and stuff to bring in that type of quality players. They do have quality players, but and they when they do have good players, they lose them. Except for Jamie Vardy, he's the only mainstay. But
yeah.
yeah, so Leicester does lose their players and everything. So quality wise, I do think Arsenal has a squad that they could put up against Leicester, and honestly, maybe even be a better technical side than Leicester. But it should be an entertaining match, so I'm excited for that.
I'm with you on that. I'll be setting an alarm bright and early tomorrow morning to catch that one for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited for the EPL tomorrow. I love getting my mornings up, and just like Ted Lasso, early morning means early drinking, and early drinking means early drunk.
Yeah.
Well, that
Uh,
was our weekend update, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I think we should have a good weekend, and we're going to start trying to have 2 episodes a week, 2 parts to episode a week, so that get more content out there for everybody and more picks out there for you guys to follow. Thanks for joining us. Remember to rate and review us, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Twitter at Payday Parlays, follow us on Instagram at Payday Parlays, and like our page on Facebook, Payday Parlays. And as always, visit our website for articles and all sorts of different content that we post on there for free with no paywall or anything. Everything's free at paydayparlays.com.
at that same time, that's a great way to follow the standings of our Payday Parlay Mega Pick Face Off Championship
Oh,
Series Super Cup, which week one finishing up here this weekend, and we'll see where we stand here in a few days.
yeah, we are. I will go ahead and pull up those results right now, where we stand right now. Zane is currently in the lead. He is bet $75 and has a winnings of $115 or winnings of $67.50. And his total payout that he's gotten so far is $115.50. Zane is well in the green. Me, on the other hand, not so much. I had a bad week with the Lakers and Jazz. I invested $28 into that game and won absolutely nothing. It was just an absolute atrocious performance from the Lakers. LeBron, I'm disappointed in you. If you ever see this, I'm so disappointed. That was just awful. So I've bet $73 I've only gotten $28.60 of winnings with a total payout of $58.60. But that's going to be changing this weekend, guys. Don't worry. We're getting back in the green.